And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Michael, Kirk,
Goes up on a one-man show, another chance for an ego to say hello. I love Gretchen Reinhagen's act because she tells it like it is. And Bendela Creme, I loved hers, or should I say his? Another curtain goes up on a one-man show, another chance for a performer to lose lots of dough. Katie Sullivan and Mark Knapler keep their overhead low. That's the way to make a little on a one-man show. Another curtain goes up on a one-man play, cause when you can't book a real gig, then hello, Cabaret! I need a drink. When I saw Ricky Ritz, when I saw Susie Mosier, I went, oh, damn, bitch! Another curtain goes up on an empty stage, another chance to say, my God, she looks good for her age. We go from theater to theater, we're in such a fog, cause everyone's vagina's got a monologue. So turn off your cell phones.
It's off.
Cause Randy knows Taekwondo, and the curtain's going up on another one-man show. Welcome to what appears to be our final encore of Just Because. This show started off last spring and kind of became my, for the first performance in August, my how I spent my summer vacation report. The gig I normally have in the summers didn't happen this year, so I had to sit and think how I wanted to spend my summer, and I thought, I love play rehearsal because it's the best, because it is fun. I love play rehearsal and I get depressed as soon as it's done. But not depressed as in like kill yourself depressed. No, I'm not into self-harm. Here, I swear, check my arm. I just use the word to emphasize the point, show the passion that I've got. I am passionate a lot. I have mad gigantic feelings, rapid frantic feelings about most everything. Like gun control, like spring. Like if I'm living up to all I'm meant to be. I also have a touch of ADD. Sorry, what was that? I love play rehearsal because you are equipped with directions and text. Life is easy in rehearsal. You follow a script, so you know what comes next. Anywho, the point that I'm getting to is sometimes life can't work out in the way it works out in a play. Only when I'm in a show am I the center of attention. Like when I did Glass Half Full, and now you know. And can I mention, those two shows were some of my greatest accomplishments. Did you see those? One of them, okay. You're here now. Another great accomplishment is when I was the ringmaster in my kindergarten circus. And no matter how hard I try, it's impossible to narrow down the many reasons why I love play rehearsal. I happiness cry as soon as it starts. It's just so universal, getting to try playing so many parts. Most humans do one thing with all of their lives. The thought of that gives me hives. I've got so many interests I want to pursue, but why am I telling this to you? Guess there's a part of me that wants to. There's also a part of me that wants to do this. did it. Back to play rehearsal. My brain is like bzzz, and my heart is like wow. 'Cause we're here at play rehearsal, and it's starting. We're starting. It's starting soon. What do I want to do? Well, let's do another cabaret program. So I called up my director, Jay Rogers, and he was in. And William T. Hall had nothing better to do with his time, so he said yes to me again. And so we had the team back together, just like all my other shows. We have Jay, we've got Will, we've got 2 backup singers. Fuck. All alone, all by myself. There is no one here beside me. I'm all alone, quite all alone. No one to comfort me or guide me. Why is there no one here with me on this long and winding road to lift my heavy load? If there was someone here with me, how happy I would be. But I'm alone, quite all alone, all by myself. I'm all alone. I'm all alone.
He's all alone.
All by myself. I cannot face tomorrow. I'm all alone.
No, I am here,
So all alone.
so very near.
No one to share my sorrow.
You know, it seems quite clear to me, because I'm working class, I'm just the horse's ass. He sells me down the river, so what am I, chopped liver?
But I'm alone.
I know you're not,
So all alone.
and here you twat.
I'm still fine. All alone. Lonely, side by side. It's a perfect place to hide. I'm all alone. Yes, all alone. All by myself, I'm all alone. Thank you to the members of Those Girls and Mama's Boys. 2 amazing cabaret singing groups. Both groups have shows coming up soon, so please go and check those out. But of course, I'm not alone up here on stage either. My dear friend of a decade, Mr. William T. Hall, is up here with me. This show was the 4th show that Will and I put together. We had a Christmas show, so there's 5 now. But this is our 4th show, and sometimes I'm very lucky, and Will lets me sing one of his songs. Central Park in spring, Macy's Santaland, Halloween parades, Coney Island sand. Each sight to me will always be so precious and profound. Let's burn this goddamn city to the ground. Avery Fisher Hall, $200 a seat. Michelin star cuisine, only Wall Street bankers eat. Each sight I love reminds me of my failures all around. Let's burn this goddamn city to the ground. There's a reason most disaster films are shot in NYC. The thought of its destruction fills the local hearts with glee. If Godzilla wrecked Seattle, there'd be sadness through the town. But New Yorkers would be flush with hope. We'd see our rents go down. So Quaker storm, I don't care how. O'Leary's cow, your time is now. I'll cross my Hudson Rubicon and burn these bridges when I'm gone. In all the universe, New York's the most unfair. Still young and stupid dreamers still descend on here en masse, where a 7-figure income makes you upper middle class. And it takes an act of God for normal life to come to pass. So Central Park in spring, from now on you don't mean a thing. I'm on my way to JFK. I don't care where I'm bound. Just burn this goddamn city to the ground. Let's burn this goddamn city to the ground. Is written by Mr. William Tenhall and his writing partner Patrick Gallagher. It is from the score to their show, Pretty People Suck. It's true. As I said, Will and I have been working together for a decade, and about 8 years ago we did our first show together, our first cabaret show. And that show was a slightly ill-conceived show called Songs from the Rock, the Street, and the Hood. It was all songs from Fraggle Rock, Sesame Street, and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
I don't think it was ill-conceived.
Well, you were lovely in it. You didn't do the conceiving. I did the conceiving. You did a lovely job with everything I asked you to play.
Fraggles?
Yes, there were Fraggles and Sesame and Mr. Rogers. I just said that.
You should sing a Fraggle Rock song now.
Okay, why not? Music grows in the rose, rock in the rain and the blowing snowstorm. Everything seems to sing everywhere I go. I say 1, 2, play me 2, let me sound as sweet as you. Play me wide, play me long, let me be a song. Play me down on the ground, song comes singing from the midnight places. Play me high in the sky, song comes drifting through. I say 1, 2, play me 2, let me sound as sweet as you. Play me wide, play me long, let me be a song. And as much as I've loved the songs from Fraggle Rock and Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood for my whole life, for the last 11 or 12 years now, I have been one of the luckiest Muppet fans in the world because I've gotten to spend time working with the creators of some of those shows. I work for a company called No Strings Productions, and we make puppet films for children in troubled areas of the world. I've been involved in films with them for peace building and trauma healing for Syrian refugees, for HIV/AIDS awareness for Sub-Saharan Africa, nutrition and public health for Madagascar. And they always say that you're not to meet the people responsible for the things you loved as a child, because meeting them will ruin it. And meeting and working with these amazing people have only made me love what they do even more. And a couple of them are here with us tonight. One of the founders of the company is Kathy Mullen, who played Moki Fraggle on Fraggle Rock, and Kira the Dark Crystal, she's here with us tonight. Another one of our executive producers is a dear friend of mine who's here, and this woman was hired on Sesame Street before Jim Henson was hired on Sesame Street, and that is Sharon Lerner. And getting to work with these women and everyone else involved has been such a joy over these last few years. Play me high, play me low, play me where the wild wind's blowing, play me wide, play me long, play me for your song. I say 1, 2, play me 2, let me sound as sweet as you. Play me wide, play me long, let me be your song. Show together, we found that the music that we were both drawn to the most were those ballads from Sesame Street that make us think a little. Being Green, I Don't Want to Live on the Moon, and This Old Chestnut. Oh, William, this music makes me so sad.
How can it make you sad, Michael?
Well, I tried to hustle down to the disco for a good time, but it all went horribly wrong.
Oh, how bad can it be?
Oh, Will, you play, and I'll sing this entirely true story.
Where's my cookie? Help me find my cookie. Please, the lights were shining, the night was fine, and me was having a real great time. But me got careless, we don't know how, but me had something we can't find now. Me lost me cookie at the disco.
Please come back.
Me lost me cookie in the bouquet music. Me lost me cookie at the disco. I want it back.
You want it back?
I want it back again.
Oh, Will, I took my cookie with me to have a good time at the disco, but me lost cookie.
The lights are shining, the music loud. We're just a part of that happy crowd. My feet go crazy across the floor, but suddenly my sweetie not be there no more. Me lost me cookie at the disco.
Please come back.
Me lost me cookie in the bouquet music. Me lost me cookie at the disco. Me want it back.
You want it back?
Me want it back again.
Oh, Will, what if someone hustled me cookie to another disco? What if someone stepped on me cookie? It's all too horrible to think about.
Me was so happy, me feel so grand. How this thing happened, me no understand. Me yell, "Get back!" But how me know? Me maybe never find out where me cookie go. Me lost me cookie at the disco.
Please come back.
Me lost me cookie in the bouquet music. Me lost me cookie at the disco. Me want it back.
You want it back?
We want it back again. We want it back.
You want it back?
We want it back again. So the joys of calling your show Just Because is you can really do whatever the hell you want. And one thing I have wanted to do all these many years in the cabaret world is to sing a duet with this man who I'm about to bring up. So please, as I'm setting the stage, welcome to the stage, the legendary Sidney Myer. How are you, Sid?
Oh, Michael, dear.
Yes, I love
It's wonderful to be here
you.
with
Great
you.
to have you, Sid.
You know, Michael, I was thinking
Yes.
that we have so very much in common.
This is true.
Well, we both work in cabarets.
We do.
And we're both entertainers.
That's what we're attempting to do now.
And I lost me cookie in 1957.
Very specific, Sid. My director refers to this moment as two homosexuals on stools singing. So that is what we shall do.
I'm your only friend. Well, I'm not your only friend, but I'm a little glowing friend. But really, I'm not actually your friend. But
Blue canary in the outlet by the light switch, who watches over you. Make a little birdhouse in your soul.
not to put too fine a point on it. Say I'm the only bee in your bonnet. Make a little birdhouse in your soul.
I have a secret to tell from my electrical well. It's a simple message, so I'm leaving out the whistles and bells.
So the room must listen to me, filibuster vigilantly. My name is Blue Canary, one word spelled L-I-T-E.
My story's infinite,
Like the Longines Symphonette, it never ends.
Blue canary in the outlet by the light switch, who watches over you. Make a little birdhouse in your soul.
Not to put too fine a point on it. Say I'm the only bee in your bonnet. Make a little birdhouse in your soul.
There's a picture opposite me of my primitive ancestry, who stood on the rocky shores and kept the beaches shipwreck-free.
Though I respect that a lot, I'd be fired if that was my job. After killing Jason off and all those screaming Argonauts.
Bluebird of friendliness,
Like guardian angels, they're always near.
blue canary in the outlet by the light switch, who watches over you. Make a little birdhouse in your soul.
Not to put too fine a point on it. Say I'm the only bee in your bonnet.
Make a little birdhouse in your soul. And while you're at it, leave the nightlight on inside the birdhouse in your soul.
Not to put too fine a point on it. Say I'm the only bee in your bonnet.
Make a little birdhouse in your soul. Blue canary in the outlet by the light switch, who watches over you. Make a little birdhouse in your soul. truly. Put my microphone under the stool. That's not going. There we are. Sorry about that. Back to our regularly scheduled program. So yeah, as Sid said, we both work in Cabaret. He, of course, is the legendary booking manager here at this club. And I have worked in the cabaret world for a while. I first, for 4 years here at Don't Tell Mama. Then for the last 7 or so years, fully ensconced over at the Laurie Beachman Performing Arts Center for the Drag Queen and Cabaret Clowns. And it is always lovely as people are coming into the Beachman. I hear for so many people that one of their favorite things about coming to the Beachman is me being at the door, because I'm always so, because they're always so welcoming. Thank you. And always in a good mood, which is true most days. And then some days I'm glad that my acting training is still on point. And it gets me thinking. Back in my younger days, if things were going wrong, I might sulk, I might pout. Now I've learned if I just pitch in and do what's right, things will always work out. And if we all could spread a little sunshine, all could light a little fire, we all would be a little closer to our heart's desire. Lord knows we've seen enough troubles already. We've had our fill of grey skies. So put down the vinegar, pick up the honey jar. You'll catch many more flies. And if we all could spread a little sunshine, all could think before we strike, we all would be a little closer to the world we love. I know the parables told in the holy book I keep close on my shelf. God's wisdom teaches me when I help others, I'm really helping myself. And if we all could spread a little sunshine, all could lend a helping hand, we all would be a little closer to the promised land. I think, come by the cheery disposition somewhat naturally. My grandmother, who I was very close to, was always an optimist in things, and in fact, this was one of her favorite songs. A long time ago, a million years BC, the best things in life were absolutely free. But no one appreciated a sky that was always blue. No one congratulated a moon that was always new. So it was planned that they would vanish now and then, and you must pay before you get them back again. That's what souls are made for, and you mustn't be afraid, for every time it rains, pennies from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven? You'll find your fortune falling all over town. Be sure that your umbrella is upside down. Trade 'em for a package of sunshine and flowers. If you want the things you love, you must have showers. So if you hear it thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me. You'll find your fortune falling all over town. Be sure that your umbrella is upside down. Trade 'em for a package of sunshine and flowers. If you want the things you love, you must have showers. So if you hear it thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me. Don't spend that all in one place. And music was very important in my grandparents' house. That's why I know so much of the American Songbook that I do is from days where Grandma and Grandpa were babysitting me. Grandma was a sweet Adelina, and Grandpa was a barbershopper. And anytime we would gather for Sunday dinner at their house, all of the cousins, we were all there. But at a certain time, their house had to go silent. And that's when Lawrence Welk came on. It didn't matter that this was the late 80s, early 90s, and she had seen every episode, and could tell you what song was going to come next. Silence for Lawrence Welk. And her most favorite moments of that show were when Joe Feeney or some of the girls would do an Irish tune. Who threw the overalls in Mrs. Murphy's chowder? Nobody spoke, so we shouted all the louder. It's an Irish trick that's true. I can lick the mick who threw the overalls in Mrs. Murphy's chowder. When Mrs. Murphy gave a party about a week ago, everything was plentiful. Oh, the Murphys, they're not so. They treated us like gentlemen, and we tried to act the same. If only for what happened, well, it was an awful shame. When Mrs. Murphy dipped the chowder out, she fainted on the spot. She found a pair of overalls at the bottom of the pot. Tim Nolan, he got ripping mad, and his eyes were bulging out. He jumped up on the piano, and loudly he did shout. Who threw the overalls in Mrs. Murphy's chowder? Nobody spoke, so we shouted all the louder. It's an Irish trick that's true. I can lick the mick who threw the overalls in Mrs. Murphy's chowder. Now, because music was so important to my grandmother, when she passed, we didn't want to be in the funeral home listening to that dreadful elevator music they usually pipe in. So we asked the funeral director and got permission to bring in some of Grandma's CDs to play. And so we asked my aunt, who was staying at the house, to go and grab all of Grandma's Irish CDs. Oh, me name is McNamara, and I'm the leader of the band. Although a few in numbers, but finest in the land. We play at wakes and weddings and at every fancy ball. And when we play at funerals, we play the march from Saul. Oh, the drums go clang and the cymbals bang and the horns they blaze away. McCarthy bumps the old bassoon while I the pipes do play. In Hennessy, Tennessee, toodles the flute and the music is something grand. A credit to old Ireland is McNamara's band. I should tell you though, the aunt who was staying at the house that we sent to get the music is, my Aunt Carol, is somewhat of the, how to put this delicately, the Rose Nyland of the family. So she followed the directions to a T and got every Irish CD, which is why on the first night of viewing in the funeral home, in the first week of August, we heard the Irish tenors begin to sing this. I just came back from a lovely trip along the Milky Way. I stopped off at the North Pole to have a holiday. I called on dear old Santa Claus to see what I could see. He took me to his workshop and showed his plans to me. So you better not pout, you better not cry, you better not pout, I will tell you why. Santa Claus is coming to town in August. He's making a list, checking it twice, gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town, to the funeral home. He sees you when you're sleeping, he knows you're not awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better not shout, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. And while that did give us a little bit of much needed levity that week, one of the most difficult things I have done in my life I did 2 days later. And that is when I sang this song at the beginning of her funeral. Over in Killarney, many years ago, me gran, she sang this song to me in tones so sweet and low. Just a simple little ditty in a good old Irish way. And I'd give the world to hear her sing the song to me this day. Tooraloo-ra-loo-ra, tooraloo-ra-la, tooraloo-ra-la. Hush now, don't you cry. Tooraloo-ra-loo-ra, tooraloo-ra-la, tooraloo-ra-la. It's an Irish lullaby. Often dreams I wander to that cot again. I feel her arms around me as when she held me then. And I hear her voice a-humming as she did in fast asleep outside that cottage door. Hush, don't you cry. That's an Irish lullaby. And I do try to live up to the example she set with her joy and her optimism. I think what she thinks nowadays, and as much as I try, don't always accomplish it. This is my earth, and I live in it. It's 1/3 dirt and 2/3 water, and it rotates and revolves through space at rather an impressive pace, and never even messes up my hair. And the weirdest thing about it is that the force created by its spin is the force that stops the chaos rushing in. This is my earth, and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's mine. It's not perfect. This is my country, and I live in it. It's rather big and nice to walk on. The bloke who runs my country has made a demagoguery, taught us to be fearful and hateful. The weirdest thing about it is the conservative politic is really rather radical of hairdo. This is my country, and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's mine. It's not perfect. This is my house, and I live in it. It's made of cracks and photographs. We rent it from a guy who bought it from a guy who bought it from a guy whose granddad left it to him. And the weirdest thing is that this house has locks to keep the bad guys out, but they're mostly used to lock ourselves in. This is my house, and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's mine. It's not perfect. This is my body, and I live in it. It's 36 and 8 months old. It's changed a lot since it was new. Done stuff it wasn't built to do. I often try to fill it up with wine. The weirdest thing about it is I spent so much time hating it, but it never says a bad word about me. This is my body, and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's mine. It's not perfect. This is my brain, and I live in it. It's made of love and bad song lyrics. It's tucked away behind my eyes where all my fucked up thoughts can hide. 'Cause God forbid I hurt somebody. And the weirdest thing about a mind is that every answer that you find is the basis of a brand new cliche. This is my brain, and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's fine. It's not perfect. I'm not quite sure I've worked out how to work it. It's not perfect, but it's mine. Well, we have hit that time of the show where I say all the thank yous. First, again, thank you to all of you for being here tonight for our final show. Thank you to your lovely server this evening, Randy. Please take care of her. I wasn't kidding in the opening number. She does her taekwondo. She'll face you down. Thank you, of course, to those girls and Mama's Boys for joining me. Thank you to the legendary booking manager here at Don't Tell Mama, who I'm so happy to join me on stage tonight, Mr. Sidney Myer. And Adam DeCarlo on lights and sound. Thank you, Adam. My amazing director, who has been with me for 3 shows now, helping to rein in the crazy that happens up here, bringing a little bit of crazy of his own, which is why we work so well together, Mr. J. Rogers. And this amazing man who's on stage with me. We've been working together for 10 years, and it is such a joy when you get to make music with friends. Yeah. So it is always a joy to be with Mr. William T.N.O. And so we thought we'd end on a little peppy tune for you. Everybody lives on a street, in a city, or a village, or a town, for what it's worth. And they're all inside a country which is part of a continent that sits upon a planet known as Earth. And the Earth is a ball filled with oceans and some mountains, which is out there spinning silently in space. And living on the Earth are the plants and the animals, and also the entire human race. It's a great big universe, and we're all really puny. We're just tiny little specks about the size of Mickey Rooney. It's big and black and inky, and we're all small and dinky. It's a big universe, and we're not. And we're part of a vast interplanetary system stretching 700 billion miles long. With 9 planets and a sun, we think the Earth's the only one that has life on it, although we could be wrong. Across the interstellar void are a million asteroids, including meteors and Halley's Comet too. And there's over 50 moons floating out there like balloons in a panoramic trillion-mile view. And still it's all a speck amid 100 billion stars in a galaxy we call the Milky Way. It's 60,000 trillion miles from one end to the other, and still that's just a fraction of the way. Cause there's 100 billion galaxies that stretch across the sky, filled with constellations, planets, moons, and stars. And still the universe extends to a place that never ends, which is mainly just inside a little jar. It's a great big universe, and we're all really puny. We're just tiny little specks about the size of Mickey Rooney, though we don't know how we got here. Real important part here, it's a big universe, and it's ours.
Ladies and gentlemen, back with Kirk.
Thank you, you all took mine. This show really has, for a show that when we first started to do it, we had really no clue what it was going to be. It really has been a joy putting this together and doing these last 5 shows. And when we started to figure out what the encores would be, my grandmother had become such an important piece of the show. And speaking about her and my connection to her, and her love of Lawrence Welk and other music, and it seemed most fitting to end the show with the song we ended her funeral with. Good night, sleep tight until we meet again. Adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen till then. And though it's always sweet sorrow to part, please know you'll always remain in my heart. Good night, sleep tight, and pleasant dreams to you. Here's a wish and a prayer that all your dreams come true. And so till we meet again, adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.